The COVID-19 pandemic took us all by surprise. Daily life, with all of its normal routines and comforts, ground to a halt. It was during this time when we got to work against the backdrop of one of the most surreal events in American history. It was our goal to provide a lifeline for small businesses in Charlotte struggling to stay afloat. And with the City of Charlotte's Access to Capital program, we did just that. The program, developed by the Open for Business initiative, provided more than $30 million in funding to Charlotte's vital small business community. With 2,500 awards granted, we were able to reach a diverse range of businesses throughout the Charlotte area, including 2,100 awards to micro businesses, 42% to African American businesses, and 42% to women-owned businesses. But we didn't stop there. We also provided more than $7 million to the food and beverage industry. The Access to Capital program was a lifeline for entrepreneurs who simply needed to survive. And now we're working hard to help set them up to thrive as we all prepare for what comes next. Visit charlotteopenforbusiness.com to learn more.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today and for allowing us to talk about something that's most important, some of our accomplishments around our Open for Business Access to Capital program. You know, this program has already earned national recognition in one of the most comprehensive and small business and workforce support initiatives ever undertaken by our local government, by our city, Charlotte. While we do love to be recognized, we are much more interested in doing what's best for those who need critical assistance during the most critical time. That is the real reward, and that is the source of our pride. Now, this was all made possible by the CARES federal program and is part of a larger city initiative that provides over $90 million to the community, with $20 million going to residents with housing support, $58 million going to Open for Business, and more going to other community investments. Of that, more than $30 million went to small businesses, and over $7 million went to our food and beverage industry. Our work with Open for Business has done so much more than just providing access to capital. We've also set up an innovation fund, workforce and hiring grants, and training programs to help our small businesses survive and thrive. And that momentum hasn't stopped and won't stop. Today, we are focusing on some key information around our small business programs. All of this would not be possible without strong partnerships, and we have one of our strongest partners here with us today. May I introduce to you President and CEO of the Foundation for the Carolinas, Michael Marsicano.
Thank you, Mayor Lyles, and good afternoon. Vi, I'm coming remote from Nashville, visiting my newborn and first grandchild.
Oh my God.
So thank you for organizing this press conference for that announcement. All kidding aside, this is a great day for Charlotte. We at the Foundation have been honored to work alongside a terrific city team as your grant-making partner for this critical effort to support local businesses devastated by the pandemic. For decades, your community foundation has supported nonprofits through our extensive grant-making activities, but it's now our privilege to extend that portfolio to serve our community's small businesses throughout Charlotte's diverse neighborhoods during this challenging time. It certainly made me more popular. When I dropped off my dry cleaning a few weeks ago, the store owner asked me if I was that guy who worked at the foundation. When I said I was, he lit up and expressed such excitement at having received a grant from the program. It was a moment of great pride and a new bond with someone I didn't know before. A crisis can bring people together in unexpected ways. There are thousands of stories just like this across our city. And you can find a list of all the businesses receiving grants on the city's website, openforbusiness.com. My good friend and Councilman James Mitchell pushed us to launch this grants program overnight. It took great ingenuity, commitment, and long hours by my colleagues at the foundation, Laura Smith and Nikhil Savant. They've been a dynamic duo. And it was Laura's idea to enlist furloughed YMCA employees to assist us in execution of the program. And the Y was another great partner in opening up its multiple facilities for us to assist small businesses in their neighborhoods and in person, masked, of course. I also want to thank the entire team from the city. Holly Estridge and Tracy Dodson are just rock stars. The mayor, Marcus Jones, James Mitchell, and the full council, I think they're really to be commended for their vision and dedication to this cause. In recent years, the foundation has worked closely with the city on so many projects. We've co-sponsored the Leading an Opportunity Report and have worked together on upward mobility. We've accomplished many things, from a robust partnership in affordable housing on several fronts to the renovation of the historic Carolina Theater. But this small business program has taken our partnership with the city to a whole new level of service to our community. I could not be more proud. And now, with more specifics about the Access to Capital Small Business Relief Program, it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Pro Tem Julie Eiselt.
Thank you, Michael. And hello, everybody. It's a great day for some good news, and it's my pleasure to be able to deliver it to all of you. Back in May of this year, before anyone realized the full magnitude of the COVID pandemic, our city had the foresight to begin preparing for the worst-case scenario. We did that by engineering a program that we call Open for Business, which was intended to provide leadership to help our small businesses survive in this new environment, while also giving them the tools to thrive for whatever comes next. Now, only 6 months later, we can proudly say that Charlotte has given more than $58 million to this initiative. That is 38% of the city's total CARES dollar allocation that has gone to the Open for Business program. And with that, our fantastic team has been able to touch over 25% of the small businesses in Charlotte. As part of that, the city provided over $30 million to small businesses as part of the original Access to Capital Small Business Relief Program. And that's not all. Charlotte also stepped up to help the food and beverage industry with another $7 million in funding. So you can see that we are heavily invested in positive outcomes for our business owners. And we're not just talking about it, we're doing something about it. Now, for more on the success of our stories, I'd like to introduce my colleague and chairman of the Workforce and Business Development Committee, Councilman James Smudgy Mitchell.
Tim, thank you. And I want to echo all the sentiments of my colleagues this morning. This is a tremendous accomplishment for the city of Charlotte. I'm proud of everyone who worked so hard in order to make this reality, especially to Laura Smith and Michael Marsicano, the great staff at the Foundation of Carolina. I want to take a moment to look at the numbers more closely to tell the real story. For the Small Business Relief Program, out of the 2,500 awards approved, 42% of them have gone to Black-owned businesses, 10% to Asian businesses, and 8% to Hispanic-owned businesses. That means 60% of the awards have gone to minority businesses. Can we do a hand clap? Which follows this city commitment to assist all entrepreneurs. I'm also struck by the fact that about 50% of the businesses that receive funding for that program have been operated for 8 years or more. Between the Small Business Relief Fund and the Food and Beverage Fund, we were able to provide funding to almost 1/3 of our small business community. So many of those businesses are a cornerstone of our community and have been successful for a long time before this pandemic hit us. We owe it to them to help them to survive factors that are outside of their control. Each and every one of their stories of survival is a benefit for our entire city. We're fortunate today to have some of those small businesses to tell their stories, and they're with us today. First, let me turn over to Genova Byers, and this is special for me because Genova used to work for the city of Charlotte and our small business inclusion program. She took a leap of faith to fulfill her dream. Genovia is with the Southern Blossom Florists. And then we'll hear from the Colliers with Uptown Yoke and Leah and Louise. Genovia?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. My name is Byers with Southern Blossom Florist. We've been in business for about 12 years. And when the governor's mandate took place, we had to close our shop, and we were closed for about 3 months. During that time, I was applying for grants, the PPP and business loan, the SBA loan, and nothing really came through. But when I received an email from the city of Charlotte telling me that I had received a grant, I was super excited. Not only the grant helped us financially, but also gave me the hope that I was looking for. And on behalf of the Southern Blossom team, I wanted to say thank you so much for all your hard work and your support. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Smith Collier.
I'm Rick Collier.
How are you today? I'm honored to tell you and for us, this grant has helped. Like he was going, we this is 8 years ago. We moved up last year. We bring Jim Woodhead from March. And we had to stop our opening because of the mandate. We had to make 2 days before. Already. And we in the side. It was actually open in June. So this has helped us. Man, it helps keep people employed. It helps change, pivot how we get our marketing, how we able to change Uptown is to doing on the curbside. That change the whole POS system. And like, is it Gion site? I didn't look at the name of it. They was called Genova. It gave us the hope that we needed to keep our team up and keep us up this
I think we have some audio problems with the Colliers, and so we apologize for that. We definitely want to hear from them. They're such a great small business owner in our community. But I wanted to conclude by just thanking everyone for joining us today and the support that you've given us. The stories that we've heard from people who have received the grants are really inspiring and definitely keep us going. I also want to thank the foundation for their partnership. We absolutely could not have done this without you. The city manager and the city council, they had the vision and they had the commitment to support small business from the very beginning of this pandemic. Small business, we recognize, is the backbone of our community. And while we are celebrating today, we want you to know that we are not done with our commitment to continuing to unite and support small business. And so what we'll say is that we will continue to work under the Open for Business platform, and we hope that you will continue to look onto the website at openforbusiness.com and find out the latest initiatives that we have going. And with that, I will turn it back over to Corey for questions from the media.
Our first question will go to Joe Bruno. Joe, go ahead with your question when you're ready.
Thanks, Corey. First of all, congratulations to the Colliers on their recognition by Esquire. That is just incredible. So happy to see Leah and Louise. doing fantastic in their launch. My question is really for the Colliers and the spotters. I would love to hear more about your mindset through COVID and how much this money has really helped your businesses during this uncertain time.
I want to make sure I can hear us now. Is this better?
Yes, no, maybe. I mean, that's.
Let me take. Hear us now?
I'm going to step in just for one moment because yesterday I had the. Sorry. I'm going to step in just until the Colliers, who really deserve this opportunity to speak more eloquently than I. But yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with 4 businesses, small businesses that have received this award, and I asked them to tell me what was most important. Destiny Gilliam, reading coach. She said that she serves kids that do not know how to read even after they're in the 2nd grade. And she brings them from kindergarten level to 2nd grade within 9 to 12 months. She said that this award, this small business grant that she received, allowed her to go to a sliding scale so that the children that she was serving would still have the opportunity to learn, and their parents could pay what they could. So that's the kind of impact that you can have. The second one was more fun. It's called Flower Power, and it teaches kids how to cook. But it's more than that. It teaches them science and creativity. But the one person that the owner, Anne talked about, was a kindergartner who came in with a mom who was an RN at a hospital and had been working long shifts. And she had nothing left to give to her child after a long work day. And that Flower Power lesson, it brought joy to her daughter, who she was able to pick up, and her daughter could talk to her all the way home. So, you know, these grants have made not just a difference in small businesses, but they've made a difference in the lives of our children and the lives of our business owners. So Ann Ward and Destiny Gilliam, I want to say thank you. You applied for the money, and we gave it to you through our city's CARE dollars, but you made a difference in people's lives, and so thank you for that.
Eric Sandberg? Eric Sandberg, go ahead.
Out in a release or something. And then the second part of my question is for Tracy. Tracy, you mentioned perhaps doing some more programs. Do you have anything specific in mind?
We're continuing to implement what we have already in place. And then we're also starting to look at what we need to either continue to try to do, even though we have spent for the Open for Business, the CARES funds that we have, but then also what we need to continue to do to build up resiliency coming out of the pandemic. So don't necessarily have specific programs yet. We're also looking at different initiatives that we have already existing within the city that we need to bring into the Open for Business platform. So it is a more cohesive platform that's kind of, I hate to say it this way, a one-stop shop for small businesses and resources. So that's another piece that we'll be looking at into the new year.
David Borak?
Can you talk a little bit about what criteria you used to make these grants? What were you looking for in particular?
Do we want to turn that over to, I know Laura's on the phone. I'm happy to start answering that, but I don't know if we want to kick it to the foundation as well or to Holly from my team. When the first round of criteria, we focused specifically on small businesses that had not received PPP or any other kind of federal relief funds. And then as we got around to the later rounds, we opened it up to all small businesses in our community. So that was a big one. We also focused twofold with businesses between 6 and 25 and businesses at 5 and 0. So we had micro business grants as well as small business grants. And I don't know, Laura, if you want to add anything in addition to that.
Yes, for the small business, we also looked at revenue. In 2019, they had to have revenue greater than $30,000 but less than $2 million. So again, as Tracy points out, we were really looking for those small businesses and micro businesses in the Charlotte, and with that first round, really emphasizing businesses who had not already received any kind of government funding, whether that was PPP funding or state funding or a micro grant from the city.
Okay, Joe Bruno, did you have another question?
No, I did not, Corey.
Okay. Robin Kennedy?
No, I do not.
Okay. Eric Sandberg again.
If I missed this earlier, do we know how many people or how many businesses applied for these various grants?
We'll pull the total number. Hold on.
Laura, you want to share that number, please?
Yeah, I'd be glad to share that number. Just so you know, we had ultimately in the small business grants area, we had 4,469 businesses that applied to the program. And for the food and beverage or the food service area, we had 658 companies that applied to the food and beverage program.
And then one last question is, are the hotels, is that program still in process, not included in these numbers?
Yes, we are still in the process of wrapping that up. So likely hoping that award letters will go out for the hotels next week.
Great, thank you.
And Laura, is that information on the website? Do we know?
Is the information about the hotels or the?
It has. Eric, we will be sure to push all the information about the grants out as a part of this as well.
Hey, Tracy?
Yes, Councilmember Mitchell.
Yeah. You know, one thing I just wanted to uplift as well, and Genovia didn't mention it, but she was featured in a national publication about the program. It just made me feel good, all the work and time we did. So do we have a couple of minutes so the media can hear Genovia, how she got featured in a national publication?
Yes, we sure do.
Thank you, Councilmember Mitchell. Well, yes, I was very surprised, and that was the silver lining of the situation of COVID for Southern Blossom. I was approached by the New York Times, and at first I thought was maybe someone was trying to do a prank, and then when she really sent me her credentials and then questions, I couldn't believe it. And to be honest, for me, that has been, it's just unbelievable. You know, as a business owner, you never imagined to be and the cover of like such a, you know, prestigious newspaper, and to me that's something that I will share forever. And if it wasn't for the city of Charlotte's commitment to small businesses, I would never been able to share my success story or how I got to be there. And to be honest, I've been sharing my success story with other small businesses and telling them that they had to use the city resources, and they all need to be proud to be members of this community and being a small business, and never lose that hope, because we live in one of the greatest city in the country.
Next question.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Byers. We love, as I said before, we love hearing the stories. I just was told that we have the Colliers back on, so we want to give them a second to have a chance to speak and as well as answer Joe's question.
Hi, everyone. Can y'all hear us now? Awesome. I'm sorry about that. I'm Sabrina Collier.
And I'm Gregory Collier. I think we did this already.
But y'all probably didn't hear. We on Uptown Yoke and Leah and Louise. And for me, I can say specifically, the city of Charlotte has been so proactive on, like, the moment the ball dropped, they were just like, look, we have to get these people, especially small businesses, we have to get them some money. And then when it's specified, it was like, we need to make sure we take care of minority businesses too, because honestly, we're looked over in a lot of areas. We saw how it happened with PPP for some people. And so the city of Charlotte has been amazing at trying to do their best to use the resources to make sure that small businesses like ours are taken care of. Greg can speak more to, his side, but for us, we were able to change our POS system over. We were able to change how we market it. We had to put more money into marketing and things like that, things that we wouldn't have been able to do with in a pandemic that kind of gave us, more hope. Like Ms. Byers was saying, it helped us keep going. So we're happy about that. We're happy to represent the city of Charlotte. So I'm glad Esquire was able to see that and, put city of Charlotte on the map with food. So, we got some heavy hitters here.
I don't got a lot. I just, we just really appreciate it. We're fortunate that Lee and Luis was kind of a new kid on the block. And people were thinking about us, and we were kind of on the front of folks' minds. But when we closed, we didn't know what we were going to do. We had a lot of food that we had ordered and had schedules, and people were depending on us. So it just really helped us make sure the team was good and the team stayed. I mean, we were able to pay people and kind of keep people on. And we also, with Uptown Yoke, we were able to turn it into kind of a community kitchen from working with Hill Charlotte to the Hornets to Frontline Food. We were able to use our kitchen and use some of the funds that we got from the city to help people who were in more need than us. I know in the middle of a crisis, you're really not thinking about everybody else, but that's one of the things that were really important to us, just kind of continue and doing what we do and, helping people who are a little bit, like I said, a little bit less fortunate. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without the funds from the city. So we appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all a lot. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from our reporters?
Yeah, I just have a quick follow-up. This is David Borax. Do we have the actual numbers of businesses that got grants broken down by race and ethnicity? I'm not sure if that was already addressed.
David, this is Corey. We're actually going to be sending out a press release shortly with a full list of grant recipients from both funds, along with demographic breakdowns and a map of grant recipients across Charlotte.
Splendid, thanks.